Hello. Salvador Dali died on this day in 1989, and perhaps his best known painting is The Christ of St. John of the Cross. This he completed in 1951, just a year after returning to the Roman Catholic faith in which he'd been brought up, but which he had rejected for the earlier part of his life. He says that he painted this picture in response to a dream. He'd long admired a sketch by St. John of the Cross of a Christ hanging on the cross looked at in this way, and he had this dream in the 1940s of an instruction to him to paint Christ in this way. And he says that what he felt about this picture in the dream was that it was like the nucleus of the atom. So he paints Christ. There's no nails, there's no blood, there's no gore, you can't see his face and the pain on it. All you can see is the human body. And Dali was so keen to get the exact replication of a human being in that position that he got a stuntman, Russell Saunders, to put himself in that position so he could get exactly the right description of the muscles on the arms and so on. So what he's trying to do is to proclaim the human body in pain as the nucleus of the atom, as the heart of creation. And for him, it was Christ's body in pain that was the centre, the unifying factor, the energising force that lies at the heart of all creation. And he wanted to indicate that somehow this was a inspiration that came to him in a dream. It was not just his idea, it was something that he'd been instructed to paint. And he paints it in such a way that in the background you can see a lake which is clearly Port Ligeti, which is the place where Dali was living at this point in his life. So he brings this image of Christ as the heart, the unity, the unifying factor of all creation, into his own locality, into the place where he lived. And I think for those of us who are Christians, this is very much what we're saying about our faith, that somehow, in a way that we can't always put words to, perhaps a picture does it best, Christ is at the centre of things in a most powerful and extraordinary way, but that isn't only something which applies universally and globally, it's something which applies to our local situations. And when we can bring Christ into where we are and make sure that Christ is the centre of everything that we engage in locally, as well as sensing that he's part of is he also a universal figure, then I think we're grasping what I imagine anyway St. Salvador Dali is trying to say through this picture of Christ, of St. John of the Cross.